God can bring so many things to light through suffering and hard seasons. As hard as this season has been, I'm thankful for the work God has been doing in my heart and the things that He has been revealing in me that I may not have even realized were there. I've always loved exercise and movement. I grew up playing sports and even played softball in college. From the outside, I probably looked confident and disciplined, but internally, I struggled deeply with body image and insecurity for a very long time. I actually remember those insecurities starting way too young. While I absolutely believe it's important to care for our bodies, steward our health, and nourish ourselves well, because our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, somewhere along the way, my mindset became distorted. Without even realizing it, exercise slowly became less about caring for my body and more about trying to change it. If I missed workouts, I felt guilty. And no matter how hard I tried, I never felt like I could truly, fully reach this unattainable standard I had created for myself. And that's because insecurity is never satisfied. Romans 12:2 says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." I think so much of my thinking had quietly been shaped little by little by comparison, social media, insecurity, and this pressure I had created in my own mind to look a certain way. And then a couple of years ago, my health began changing. I started dealing with different symptoms. There were days that my body simply could not do what it used to do. At first, I fought it hard. Even when my body was clearly telling me to slow down, I would still push myself through workouts because I felt like I had to. Not being able to exercise some days made me feel bad about myself or disappointed in myself, as though I had failed to accomplish something I was supposed to do. And this revealed just how unhealthy some of my thinking had become. As my symptoms progressed, intense workouts turned into slow walks and lighter movement. Eventually, after a spinal tap, there were months where I could barely do much physically outside of short walks, and I became very afraid. Afraid of what would happen to my body, afraid of how I might look, afraid of losing strength and ability. But through all of this, God began changing my perspective. For so many years, I viewed my body through pressure, insecurity, and unrealistic expectations instead of recognizing it as a gift from God and appreciating all it was designed to do. One of the hardest and most humbling parts for me has been the visible side of this all, the muscle twitching, spasms, weakness, and symptoms that other people can sometimes see. I've always preferred to quietly carry what I'm going through, and at first I didn't want anyone to know, and I sure did not want anyone to be able to see. So having some of those struggles become visible was very uncomfortable for me. It has forced me to be more open about what I was walking through, and it's exposed areas of my heart that God still wanted to heal. For someone who spent years struggling with insecurity and placing so much pressure on being strong, capable, and put together, that experience has been deeply humbling. God has been showing me that my worth was never found in looking strong or being able to perform a certain way. 1 Samuel 16:7 says, "For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart." This season has taught me that my body is not valuable because it meets a certain standard. It is valuable because God created it. I'm learning to nourish my body for health, strength, and stewardship instead of punishing it into trying to be good enough. Some days my body still feels tired. Some days my muscles still don't work correctly. But that does not change my worth. It does not change how God sees me. and it does not change the love my family has for me. I still care for my body. I still move it and steward it the best I can, but I'm learning to do it from a place of gratitude instead of insecurity. And that has been so freeing. There's a verse I often think about when witnessing to others and talking about the emptiness people can carry inside. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says that God has set the world in their heart. There is a longing inside of us that earthly things can never fully satisfy. And in John 4, Jesus told the woman at the well, "Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst." So many of us try to fill those deeper places in our hearts with achievements, appearance, relationships, success, entertainment, or approval. And through this season, God has been showing me that I have areas in my own heart that needed healing too. The insecurity, striving, and pressure I carried could never truly be fixed by achieving a certain appearance. Only Christ could heal those deeper places in me. And somehow, through suffering, I think God has been healing parts of my heart I didn't even realize were broken.